A sellout crowd here in Bowling Green, Kentucky for 8-0 Arkansas to the SEC against the preseason Conference USA favorites, the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, alongside Mike O'Donnell. My name is Ben Holden. Starting lineups, who grabs your eyes first for Arkansas, Mike?
Mason Jones. He is a top 5 scorer in the SEC, has that old school Paul Pierce game to him.
I like it. And for Western Kentucky, who do we keep our eyes on tonight?
Cameron Justice, the shooter. Love his ability. Quick release off the 3. Big focal point for Arkansas is not getting him going early.
Western Kentucky in the home whites. Just underway. Great to have you with us here from EA Diddle Arena. Here is Witt with it now. Second stint for him at Arkansas. Began his career, then went to SMU. Knocks down the first bucket of the game.
Jimmy Witt is such a hybrid player. He doesn't shoot threes, but he's the point guard, and he's also the best rebounder for Arkansas as well.
Certainly is. He's his head coach, Eric Musselman, saying he might be the best rebounding guard in the country. You're going to stop it here. We'll take a look at your keys. Walk us through those, partner.
Although Arkansas is great defensively, they are undersized. They need to gain a rebound as a team, and they can't foul. They only play about 6 or 7 players, can't get into foul trouble. Western Kentucky, go inside early and often. Charles Bassey could have a monster game if they run action for him.
He was big in the victory last year down in Fayetteville. Handled here, and they go inside to Bassey. Jones defends him, but Bassey gets it. And he gets the first points of the night for the Hilltoppers.
When in doubt, throw it up to the trees, right? Let the big fella go get it and go to work.
He averages 15.9 a game, leads their team in 9.6 rebounds a game. Both are tops for Western Kentucky. Handled here by Jimmy Witt Jr. from the wing inside of the arc, and that one's knocked down there by Adriel Bailey. And this one knocked out of bounds, and it'll go back to Arkansas.
They force turnovers as good as anybody else in the country without pressing. Arkansas's half-court defense, it's stout, it's physical, it's aggressive. They're always looking to make a play around the ball and get a deflection.
Saw the coaches, Eric Musselman in his first season at Arkansas, Rick Stansberry, 17-14 in his career against Arkansas from his SEC days, as another one knocked down there by Arkansas.
Jimmy Witt, the king of the mid-range game. He's going to take you off the dribble. The way you stop Jimmy Witt is give him room, give him space, make him shoot deep threes.
Here's Cameron Justice. You were watching him about an hour and a half. He was out here working that form, working on his shot. He can really shoot it from downtown. 58.3 his last 4. Here he goes. Missing that one short. Witt now will push for the Razorbacks. Topside 3 on the way. And that's spit out into the hands of Tavion Hollingsworth. Quickly ahead, Justice under the basket, the reverse scoop, and he gets it.
He's more than a shooter. My favorite part of the game is actually when he puts it on the deck to make a play for himself. How about a little athleticism, a little under and over with the lefty?
I like it. 6-4 game here early on. Justice averaging 13.5, shooting it from the field at 43.5. But as I mentioned, the last 4 over 58% from downtown. Shot clock down to 5 now. Here's Isaiah Joe, and Savage with a quick poke there, knocked it away. Here's Justice back the other way. Count it, and he'll go to the free throw line.
That's such a great possession for Western Kentucky for more than one reason. You get the bucket, you get the and one, that's great. But you cause a foul on the other end through your transition offense. Arkansas is not deep. If they get into foul trouble, they are in big trouble.
Yep. So Justice at the free throw line, a 73.9% shooter. He is one of 3 former Mr. Basketballs on this roster for Western Kentucky from the state of Kentucky.
He was also Gatorade Player of the Year and coming out of a high school in Kentucky.
Handled here by Mason Jones. Had that last-second three-pointer to keep the Razorbacks undefeated a couple of weeks ago down at Georgia Tech. That one spit out on him. Justice having a game here, pulls down the board there. Quickly gets it ahead for Jared Savage. Inside.
Nice kick.
Yep, kicked out there by Williams, and Hollingsworth knocks down the topside triple.
We talk a lot about Bassett, we talk a lot about Justice, but Hollingsworth is the key. If he has great pace in this game, that means Western Kentucky will be in a really good spot to win it at the end.
His 82nd consecutive start. Sills now. He'll launch from downtown. Savage up to get the rebound. Arkansas coming into this game has trailed very little. Under 32 minutes they've trailed in total in 8 games. They haven't trailed in the second half yet. Look at Witt. And he blew by and it was blocked away by Bassey. Hollingsworth inside to Bassey for the throwdown.
How about the no-look dish in transition? The big fella gets the block, reward him on the other end. That is beautiful basketball.
Complimentary, right?
No question. That's why you've got 14 NBA scouts to watch that man right there run the floor.
Part of a 9-0 run for the Hilltoppers.
It's an offensive foul.
And Jones got it into the corner. That three no good. The rebound pulled down by Carson Williams. He too a former Mr. Basketball here in the state of Kentucky back in 2016. 9-0 run approaching 2.5 minutes for the Hilltoppers.
You're the odd man out if you're not Mr. Basketball of Kentucky.
No kidding, they got 3 of them.
Kentucky.
They got 3 of them. Hollingsworth won it in 2017. Shot clock to 5 now. Hollingsworth will try it again, hit there already. Off the heel, loose ball. Bassey will track it, floats it with the right hand, no good. And we got a foul called, and it's going back over to the Razorbacks.
That can be part of your offense. Crashing the offensive glass with Charles Bassey. That will be there because of the size advantage, but you can't go over the back.
11-6 Western Kentucky. For those of you watching on CBSSports.com, our streaming coverage will conclude after the commercial break, but we will continue on CBS Sports Network. You can find us by going to CBSSportsNetwork.com/channel finder. Early on here in the first half, sellout crowd here at EA Diddle Arena, Bowling Green, Kentucky. Courtside here alongside my broadcast partner Mike O'Donnell. Played his college ball at UCF. The sharpshooter going to be back with you, partner. We got a good one here tonight.
This is awesome. I love it. First of all, but Western Kentucky getting out, running in transition. Yeah. That's the bread and butter right now for the Hilltoppers. 9-0
run, and let's show you that don't know what Arkansas does so well. It's our AT&T fast analysis. Walk us through that, Mike.
This is why they're 8-0. It's about help the helper playing in gaps. You think you're wide open. You don't go and reach for the ball. There are 3 defenders around chasing after it, and then they finish with the extra effort to push out in transition. Even though they don't press, they get a lot of transition points because of their half-court defense. In the gap defense, always looking for deflections. Coach Musselman constantly charts deflections for his team. That's a effort stat that the Arkansas Razorbacks love to chart.
Defensively, they are second in the country in three-point defense. I mean, those numbers are mind-boggling. You look at what they did last year, every one of them is incredibly much improved.
The most important one is 19% opponent three-point field goal percentage, because where's the game going?
Yes.
Three-point line, everybody wants to shoot threes. If you can hold your opponents to under 20% from 3, even if you're not great offensively, you're going to win a lot of ball games. I mean, they're 8-0 for a reason.
Yeah. Coming into this game, only 3 teams against Arkansas have made more than 2 threes in a game.
That's incredible.
It really is. Did a double take when I saw that yesterday doing some prep on this one.
We saw it in shoot-around.
We did.
Their attention to detail, communication, active hands, everything's fundamentals.
Here's Jones, got it free to Witt. Shot clock under 10, approaching 5. Sills will launch from downtown. And a nice job getting up to get that rebound there. Pulled down by Anderson. Skipped it into the corner. Justice. It was too hot and too high for him to handle. He couldn't get a handle, and it goes back to Arkansas.
Arkansas was a little flustered in that last half-court possession. Western Kentucky went 2-3 zone out of a timeout. Good coaching move by Coach Stansbury. Constantly switching it up. You can't be satisfied with a 9-0 run against a team like Arkansas.
You mentioned Rick Stansbury, and the last win against an SEC team at home for Western Kentucky was against Mississippi State back on the 4th of January 2010. 55-52 as Harris knocks one down for the Razorbacks. The team was coached by Rick Stansbury.
How about that?
Yeah.
That is big time stat by you. That's why you research stuff, man. That's why you're the pro.
I try, buddy. Thanks. 2-point game. Hilltoppers in the white uniforms here tonight. Great turnout here at EA Diddle Arena. This part of a 3-game package, 1 football game and 2 basketball games.
Or you better meet every pass.
Yes. Justice spit out. Bassey had it and lost it. I believe he was fouled underneath on Mike.
It was a bit of a defensive breakdown by Arkansas because Cameron Justice is the one guy you do not want to give an open three look for Western Kentucky. He's in rhythm. He's the best shooter in Conference USA. He's the best three-point shooting percentage in CUSA.
Yep.
Over 40% from the three-point line.
Yep, 42.9 to be exact as Horton checks into the ball game. Bassey's going to check out. See, Hollingsworth will come back in as well, number 11. He's already got 3 assists in the game. Here he is. So a fresh 20 on the shot clock for the Hilltoppers. Hollingsworth against Witt. Good matchup. Good move inside. He got it to go.
Pretty. What are we seeing from Western Kentucky on offense is the dribble attack. They want to attack the rim more than just settle for threes. They feel like they can expose Arkansas that way.
Step back, Isaiah Joe, no good. Inside, the rebound pulled down there by Reggie Chaney. Now Jones, Mason Jones with it. Mismatch there inside. Oh. Launches and sticks.
Come on, man. if that's not Paul Pierce, I don't know what is. I mean, that is like old school YMCA basketball. I love it.
The Truth 2.0.
I'll take it. He'll take it too, man. That's comparing you to a Hall of Famer.
Anderson now swings it. Trying to go inside of the big man Horton. Back out top Anderson.
Pretty ball movement.
Yep, triple try on the way, no good. Chaney up for the rebound, getting there before Savage could get a hand on it.
This might be the most unselfish play I've seen from Western Kentucky all season.
Harris, 14 feet from the rim, goes back out to Mason Jones. Jimmy Witt Jr. into the paint. Good hands there by Jared Savage to force the turnover. Rawls thought about it. Got a screen, gets in a little closer, uses a glass. Rebound pulled down by Chaney.
That's a play by a young player that he needs to go to the rim and attack on that. You don't have to settle for a floater.
Mason Jones looked like a running back there. He went right at Josh Anderson, and they call Anderson for the block.
You know, I really, really like Mason Jones' game. He's a top 5 scorer in the SEC. He doesn't beat you with speed and quickness, and that's not a knockdown. It's just his basketball IQ to find shots, especially in transition, is through the roof.
Here's Isaiah Joe. Good hands by Savage. Comes up with another Arkansas turnover. Down the lane, Anderson strong to the rack. The 4-point lead.
That's one of the Hilltoppers' best athletes, Anderson. He's always making plays around the rim. Right now, it's transition offense for the Hilltoppers. They are carving Arkansas up.
Certainly are, and right now they lead this game by 4. Anderson averaging 6 a game, shooting at close to 45%. Harris, tough shot, well defended there by Tavion Hollingsworth, but apparently too well.
Yeah,
they call the foul.
That's a good call. I agree with that. Especially that's a point of emphasis. You've got to allow the offensive player to get a shot off. They're going to call that every single time. Hollingsworth making plays, the mainstay of the Hilltoppers, leading. Then Mason Jones, old school Paul Pierce, trying to get Arkansas back into it.
Four-point lead for Western Kentucky. These two teams, they met last December in Fayetteville. Western Kentucky, they had a big night from Charles Bassey at 17. Daniel Gafford also had 17, but this game was decided late after Arkansas took the lead on a 3. Bassey found Merrick Nelson for the layup with 19 seconds to go. Chances at the end, but it did not go, and it was a 78-77 win for Western Kentucky. And as I touched on in our last segment before the break, so the two schools did a 3-game agreement. It was a 1-for-1 in basketball, and it was one football game that Western Kentucky won this year. And as a result, former Arkansas quarterback, now Western Kentucky, ended up getting Chad Morris let go from his job. And how about those numbers? These two teams in elite company, Mike, when it comes to doing something you love to do, shoot the 3.
There's no doubt. The 3. Why have 3 when you? Why have 2 when you can have 3, man? Right. You know. But Arkansas, they're not shooting the 3 ball as well as they did last season. Particularly Isaiah Joe is not having a great 3-point shooting season. I believe that will change because I think he's still getting used to the new system. He is a phenomenal 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
Just having a down year, that sophomore slump, when you're the focal point of an opposing team's scatter report, sometimes you have that sophomore slump after a freshman year.
Yeah, and he's shooting, to your point, just 24% from the field and from downtown in his last 4 games.
He was 41% for the year last year.
Right.
So it's not that he can't. You're just in that mental slump, and you just have to shoot yourself out of it.
Both teams are 1 of 6 from downtown. Inside to Horton, and didn't get the roll, but he gets the tip and gets it to go for the Hilltoppers.
That's 14 points in the paint for Western Kentucky. They are completely taking advantage of their size advantage on the inside.
Here's Witt now with the handle. And we got a whistle and a foul down low inside.
So usually with Arkansas, they haven't had a lot of problems with points in the paint because their ball pressure's been so good. But right now, they like to turn their other team over, but Western Kentucky's doing a great job of taking care of the basketball. They're running their offense, and they're playing with more energy than Arkansas is right now. I think it's the first time I've seen that happen this year for an Arkansas team.
Yeah, right there with you. In the lane, Witt too strong. Chaney up, couldn't get it, knocked away. Yeah, it is a foul. Is taking a shot there to the forehead was Josh Anderson. They go back over the other way.
This is a really good test for this Arkansas team. They're undefeated. They're 8-0. They're playing outstanding defense. So you take a look at the replay. I mean, that's a loose ball foul. You're going to get that called every time. They're going to be tested. After this game, this is going to be a tough game. They had a good win against Georgia Tech.
They did.
They got Indiana coming up in a few games as well.
Yep. Won that Georgia Tech game by a point in overtime, 62-61. Mason Jones knocked one down from 25 feet with 1/10 of a second left. Good hustle by the Hilltoppers. Shot clock, though, is reset. Anderson, good fake on Chaney. Now kicks into the corner. And on the way, no good. Horton up again. The big fella at 6'11". Fresh 20. One of the new rule changes this year. Anderson strong to the basket. Fouled on the way down the lane.
But the athleticism by Anderson. I thought he was going to dunk it. I thought he was going to. It looked like he had the elevation to go over the top.
Did.
Strong play. 2 offensive rebounds, no box outs for the Razorbacks. You can only blame yourself for those offensive rebounds. Just because you lack size doesn't mean you can't put a body on someone and box them out of the paint.
Rebounds to this point, 12 for Western Kentucky, 7 for Arkansas, 5 to your point on the offensive glass for the Hilltoppers.
Come SEC play, you got those big boys for Kentucky, Florida. They better be careful. You better learn to box out now. Leading, no doubt.
So a 6-point deficit here for 8-0 Arkansas.
There's that 2-3 zone for the Hilltoppers.
Yep. Back outside. Nice bounce pass on the baseline of the finish there from Jimmy Witt.
Oh, what a dish by Jalen Harris. Smooth.
Hollingsworth quickly back the other way. Off the glass. Anderson trying to tip that one in. Couldn't get it. And Witt comes away inside.
That's a gift, though. That was almost another tip-back dunk.
Here's Harris going to try from downtown. Rebound into the hands of Tavion Hollingsworth. 82nd straight start for him. Punching 9 to play in the half. Anderson to the basket. And Arkansas can't believe it, but they're going to be called for a foul.
Watch this pass from Harris. You need to get to the free throw line of the zone. That's the weak point. And then the no-look lefty dish. That's nice. Very Rajon Rondo-esque, right? The no-look little flip. Man, smooth play by Harris. And he comes off the bench and provides a really huge spark and does a great job taking care of the ball. Last year, Jalen Harris had the 2nd best assist turnover ratio in the SEC. He is Mr. Fundamental and smooth for the Razorbacks.
18 assists entering the game. Substitutions as Horton goes out. Jordan Rawls also out. So you've got Bassey back on, 23 in white. 6'11" and 230, down about 20 pounds from his freshman year. Tested the NBA waters. Came back for his sophomore year. Step back from Isaiah Joe. Knocks it down. Trying to get heated up, Mike.
Guy like that, it only takes one shot, and all of a sudden he's in rhythm. That's the guy that can get you 5 or 6 threes in a blink of an eye.
Hollingsworth watched up top by Jalen Harris. Cameron Justice back into the game, feeding it inside into the post of Williams. Good defensive work inside there. Down there by Adriel Bailey.
Boy, if anybody has to have a huge game tonight, it's Adriel Bailey.
Yeah.
Because he's going to have the assignment on Western Kentucky's entire front court. He's going to have to box out, front the post, three-quarter the post. A really important game for him that may necessarily not show up in the stat sheet.
Yep, foul called here. Bailey leads their team in deflections, but he also leads their team in blocks. Came in 12 of their 39 block shots.
And when you go on your stat sheet and you look at, you're not going to see deflections in the stat sheet,
right.
but Coach Musselman charts that. That's anytime you touch the ball, maybe out of bounds, you tip a pass, that's an effort stat that coaches love to count because it's showing you're right place, right time, and you're alert.
And you're working hard.
No question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anderson gets it into Bassey. 3-point Western Kentucky lead. Harris out on the ball. Shot clock under 10 now. Hilltoppers activating, trying to get something going here. Shot clock at 5.
Good D by Sills. Wow,
great D. He stole it.
That is, you want to pop in your Rick Pitino VHS how to coach defense 101. Used to have one of those, by the way.
I'm sure you did.
Desi Stills, that was spectacular.
Very
active hands,
done.
good feet.
So the Razorbacks here with a 3 can tie it. Down by 3 here, 20-17. Arkansas nearly 11 steals a game. One of the top numbers in the country. Harris into the corner to Mason Jones. Bassey out on him, and Jones stepped out on the sideline.
That happens a lot more this season because of the extended three-point line in the corner.
Good point.
Arkansas is starting to see more life, trying to get back into this game.
3-point lead for the Hilltoppers. Just inside of 8 minutes remaining here in the first half. Western Kentucky on top of 8-0 Arkansas by 3. And in the paint tonight, that's where the Hilltoppers are making their hay so far.
Started early with Charles Bassey getting involved in the action. They've been running really great offense to get out and then run in transition. Yes, those still count as points in the paint.
Yes.
But those transition points have really carved Arkansas up in the full court. They were not getting back on defense. And I got to tell you, it's the first time, again, all season long that I don't think Arkansas has had enough energy to sustain throughout the course of the game.
Well, we do have a sellout crowd here tonight for Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky did beat them last year in Fayetteville, so maybe those two things are playing into it.
It should be added motivation to come back and get this done at their home court, right?
Well, it should be, and Western Kentucky's coming off 2 losses, too.
Well, the idea for Arkansas is, okay, we know we're not a deep team, so we can't foul. We've got to be careful around the rim. So Western Kentucky says, all right, how do we take advantage of that? We're going to beat you one-on-one at the rim. We're going to take our guy versus your guy. We're getting to the rim. We want to get to the free throw line. It's not exciting to talk about, but we should pay attention to the free throw shooting of Western Kentucky in this game.
Certainly will, and back underway, 7:45 remaining in the half. Justice, there's that touch.
As a little screen-to-screener action, and anytime Justice is going to set a screen, there's a good chance he's popping out for a 3. That's a scatter report issue that Arkansas must be aware next time.
Both teams shooting it 2 for 8 from downtown. Justice over 58% entering the game, and his last 4 was 14 for 24 from deep. Here's Witt now, watched by Bassey. Launches over the big man and got it to go.
It's unorthodox, but Witt could have a field day if Western Kentucky stays in that 2-3 zone because he loves to operate at the free throw line.
Hollingsworth. Henderson came out on him. He's in for some size in there for Musselman's group. And a turnover going back over to Arkansas.
They're trying to run more isolation for Charles Bassey. His skill level is through the roof. I mean, he's a legit NBA prospect. He's a top 5 center in the country. But he's got a bullseye on his back every single night now. So Coach Stansbury says, can he be consistent? Can he be getting almost 20 points a game for us every night? That's what we need him to do.
Fadeaway. Nicely done by Witt.
That's 2 in a row of 8 to 10 foot jumpers. The lost art of basketball presented to you by Jimmy Witt. That is beautiful.
I love the old school fundamental things like that about this game.
Well, you and I are 2 old guys now, you know, talking hoops, so we like that stuff.
I'm a little bit older, but yeah, thanks for being kind. Here's Savage outside, wants to feed it. Good hands in there by Isaiah Joe. Came right back to Anderson. Try from downtown, no good there from Savage. Now it's pushed up court by Jalen Harris. Isaiah Joe, he knocks down another one.
It's only the second time this game that Arkansas has had something in rhythm in transition, and they knock down a three. If you get a rebound and you box out, those runs will be there.
7-0 Arkansas run. Inside of 6 to play. Arkansas on top by 1. The position they were in for the last 6, 7, 8 minutes behind is a position they have not been in very often this season.
Energy has changed. There's more effort on the defensive end.
Right.
I actually think it was catapulted by Desi Stills, that one-on-one play on the other side, the left side of the court. You just, sometimes you need that one guy to just kind of slap your teammates in the face and say, let's go, we got this. And that was Desi Stills. Let's look at the offensive foul. Push off there, a little
Justice.
bit. You've got to sell it just a little bit, enough to where you don't get teed up this year, but you get the call, right? You got to have the balance.
Here is Jalen Harris with it now. Harris steps on the gas. Bassey there to cut him off. Into the hands of Sills. Quickly down the lane, turned over. Into the hands now of Hollingsworth. Nice pass to Rawls, adjusting. And the follow from Bassey, the big fella, with another throwdown.
Again, it's not exciting, but my favorite thing about Charles Bassey's game is his ability to run the floor. NBA scouts love that. Can you go 94 feet quicker than your opponent?
Here's Witt. Gets the man up and draws the foul. Anderson went tumbling over him. Witt now in double figures for the 7th time in 9 games with 10. Here's the foul. I beg your pardon, the other way.
How many 6'11" guys run the floor like that? Puts his head down, sprints, knows he's getting something around the rim. I mean, that's why he's special, and that could be a big key in this game. If Bassey starts getting tip dunks in transition, I don't know how you can really slow that down if you're Arkansas.
Had 17 against Arkansas last year in the victory for Western Kentucky in Fayetteville.
Good shot selection will save the Razorbacks if they're out of sync. If you feel like you're not getting good offense, if you feel like your defense is a little out of whack, if you can just take good shots, it'll really eliminate those transition points.
Particulars on Witt this season, and they're taking a look at this. Across from us, our officiating crew, Antonio Petty, Joe DeRosa, and Kevin Mathis here tonight. 1-point lead. Rick Stansberry and his guys with 5:10 remaining in the half. Jordan Rawls now running the point. Rawls gets a step trying to take it to the hole against Witt. Didn't work out. Quickly ahead for Isaiah Joe.
Got a skip pass.
Skip it there to Jones. Jones spots up and fires. That one spit out. Great work inside by Witt, who's got a dozen.
He's the best rebounding point guard in all of college basketball. Jimmy Witt. Always a nose for the basketball around the rim.
Leads them in rebounding. It's 6 a game.
You know why he gets those? Because point guards hate boxing out. I can attest. I hated it.
Savage tries from deep. No good. Into the hands of Mason Jones. Jones, the junior out of DeSoto, Texas.
I'd love to see some action for Isaiah Joe. Hits 2 threes. That's the guy you want get into a rhythm.
And we're going to try it here with Sills from outside. No good. And it's going to go back to Western Kentucky here.
It is the problem, right, with Arkansas's offense sometimes. If you're missing shots because of the size disadvantage, very rarely do they get second chance opportunities. So it's your offense, it's such a premium to take good shots, because bad shots could almost act like a turnover if Western Kentucky can get it out and run.
Under 4 to play in the half. 1-point Arkansas lead. Savage off a couple of hands and then finally into the hands of Witt.
I like that play for Savage, though. He's more of a 3-point shooter, but when he's attacking the rim like that, makes him hard to guard.
Good look inside to Bailey. That's got to go if you're Bailey. Couldn't put it away. Here come the Hilltoppers now. And batted out of bounds by Mason Jones.
The Charles Bassey effect. May not block the shot, but he absolutely will alter the way that you shoot it. We've got a really good one here.
26-25, Arkansas, late stages of the first half. 3:29 to play until halftime. 26-25 Arkansas trying to remain undefeated here tonight. Friday night, more hoops come your way at 8 Eastern. 20th ranked Colorado travels from Boulder to Fort Collins for an in-state showdown with the Colorado State Rams, only on CBS Sports Network. And for the Buffaloes, they got a big-time Buffalo in Tyler Bay, putting up some great numbers, leading the Pac-12 in rebounding.
Really, really good front court player. He's a little bit of a combo player. Plays some guard, some forward. Love Tyler Bray's game. So
the rebound differential that we had earlier, Mike, now even at 16 apiece.
Steals aren't necessarily an attributor to an effort stat. Rebounding is the ultimate effort stat. When Western Kentucky was out rebounding Arkansas, they got up 7 points.
Right.
All of a sudden, the rebounding numbers started to shift in Arkansas's favor, and they have a 1-point lead. It's a simple game when you break the numbers down. That's what Coach Musselman is trying to instill in this Arkansas team. If you're consistent, good things will happen.
7 on the offensive glass for the Hilltoppers. 4 for the Razorbacks. Points in the paint. 16-6 the advantage for Western Kentucky to this point. Anderson, who's played a ton of minutes here. Nice move and off the window and through.
That's the second really good drive by Josh Anderson, showing off some of that great athleticism.
Anderson, product of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Season high of 11 points against Eastern Kentucky. Made last year's all-tournament team in the Conference USA tournament. Here come the Hilltoppers up by 1, looking to add to that lead. And miscommunication there as Rawls wanted to go to Jared Savage, but they turn it over. Not what they wanted. Coming up on AT&T at the half, Brent Stover, John Rothstein will get you caught up with all the action in college basketball. Plus we'll have first half highlights and stats. It's all coming up on AT&T at the half.
We're two better looking guys than Brent Stover and John Rothstein talking hoops.
Stover's never got a hair out of place.
It's glorious. Jealous.
Here's Isaiah Joe. I use that same kind of hairspray, that hurricane-proof stuff.
It's not working for you.
Here come the Hilltoppers. I don't have the flow I used to. Out of bounds with 2:25 to go. It's going to remain here with Western Kentucky. What do you see?
You'd love to go inside this possession. I think the more that you attack the rim for Western Kentucky, the better you are.
Savage gave it up for Williams.
Go to work.
Yep, trying to go to work. Use that nice step. Stays with it. Got it to go and one. Outstanding work from Carson Williams. By the way, 2016 Mr. Basketball in Kentucky.
There you go, right on cue. Tough, gritty. How about the step through by Williams? Yes. I love this. He's got that old school, tough physical game. The best thing about Carson Williams' game is his strength. You cannot rip the ball away from him. You can't move him on that low block. He's so strong in the lower body.
The transfer came from Northern Kentucky. Had 8 points in their loss against Wright State earlier this week. 3-point game here. Arkansas with the basketball, down 3. Mason Jones trying to get by. Williams says, I don't think so.
What was that?
Hollingsworth now finding Rawls, under 2 to play in the half. Off balance. Foul's going to be called on Arkansas, though.
That's block of the day, right?
Big time.
I mean, that's block of the day.
Big time.
Look at the elevation. I need to apologize to Carson Williams because I didn't think he had it like that. I didn't think he had that jumping ability in his bag. That was big time.
6'5" and 230, the particulars on Williams. Averages just a skosh under 30 minutes a game for Rick Stansbury's crew.
Ultra efficient. 64% from the floor, just gets it done around the rim.
Remains a 3-point game. Here's Witt with a rock. He's got a dozen to lead everybody at this point. Arkansas hasn't scored since Witt had a layup at the 4:44 mark. Here he is trying to snap that streak I just mentioned. Look out, that one grabbed out of the air by Mason Jones. Shot clock down to 5 now.
Oh, he got him.
Crossover there, Witt, and it's blocked again by Williams. What a play. Off and running here, they come the other way. And bodies all over the deck under the rim.
Carson Williams is trying to ruin someone's soul in this game. Block after
He's
block.
off to a good start.
On the other end, first of all, that crossover was absurd.
Sick.
And then the recovery block by Williams.
Yeah.
Then on the other end, he tried to tip dunk. Playing like a man possessed. I love it. He's the perfect complement to Charles Bassey.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Where Bassey's going to go around you or over the top, Carson Williams is going right through you.
Yeah.
And that's a great front court compliment to have if you're Rick Stansbury.
Came into the game with just 3 blocks. He's almost equaled that with 2 so far.
Man, that's impressive.
Yeah. So here's Isaiah Joe at the free throw line. 83.3%. Of course, the broadcast jinx right there as he missed it. Still no points for Arkansas. And we get a timeout taken by Rick Stansbury. And they'll talk things over with 1:14 remaining. Western Kentucky here on top of 8-0 Arkansas by 3. Starting them young here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Great turnout here at EA Diddle Arena. You got superheroes in the building. I mean, you got everything.
Just look like members of the Justice League, you know, probably the
Cameron
stunt
Justice
doubles.
League, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was trying to tee you up for that.
And Justice for All, right?
There you go. Big time.
There you go. Final 70 seconds here of the opening half. And an entertaining one at that. Jordan Rawls with a handle. Witt picks him up.
Not a good, too much standing around for Western Kentucky. That play completely broke down.
Hollingsworth down the lane, flipped it over his shoulder and threw it away. And out of bounds goes over to Arkansas.
Coach Stansbury just stomped his foot in
Yep.
aggressive anger because you don't want a turnover. You'd rather take a bad shot.
Jalen Harris quickly pushed it into the front court. Turnovers even at 7 apiece. Here's Desi Sills. Nice move by Sills to get that to go to end the drought for Arkansas. It's a 1-point game.
He's got a little Nick Van Exel in his game.
Looked
Desi
like
Sills,
it.
you know, with the lefty cross.
A guy that his former coach coached. We're talking about him this morning. Skip pass and the 3 on the way. He got it! And one. Mason Jones the foul as it is knocked down by Jared Savage.
I think they've been waiting for Savage to get going. This is a very good three-point shooter. He hit 83s last season for Western Kentucky. You see the form. Great rhythm, awesome release, smooth follow-through, old-fashioned 4-point play.
90% free throw shooter, and he's true. 5-point lead. Shot clock is off. Arkansas walks it up.
You're in a zone for Western Kentucky. You identify that for Arkansas. What's worked for you is Jimmy Witt at the free throw line.
Yeah. Here we go. Final 7 seconds now. Mason Jones with it down to 5. Knocked away by the Hilltoppers. Rawls has got it on the run. Floats it. No good. At the horn, and the Hilltoppers will head to the room on top. Mike O'Donnell by 5.
Jordan Rawls had 1 more second to dribble to make a play at the rim. That's a little bit of a freshman mistake. What a great first half, and I can't believe I'm saying this. Western Kentucky, more energy, more effort on both ends of the floor.
No question about it. They're on top of 8-0 Arkansas by 5 here at EA Diddle Arena in Bowling Green, Kentucky, in front of a sellout crowd. After the break, back to New York, Brent Stover and John Rothstein for AT&T at the half.
CBS Sports presents AT&T at the half.
Welcome in, AT&T at the half, 33-28 at the break. Alongside our insider, John Rothstein, I'm Brent Stover. At the midpoint, what stands out so far, John?
Well, Charles Bassey, he's the X factor in the game. Arkansas implores, obviously, a smaller brand of basketball, and that's why coming into the game, you knew Bassey was going to be the focal point for Western Kentucky. Offensively, he can get everything around the rim. 6-4 so far for the big man for the Hilltoppers. If you're Eric Musselman, you sign up for this 7 days a week and twice on Sunday. Arkansas in the game because they've been able to neutralize Charles Bassey.
All right, 33-28, though. The Hilltoppers do have the advantage at the break. Time to catch up on some highlights. Number 3, Maryland, off to their best start since 98-99. Welcomed Illinois to town, a team looking for their First win against a top 5 team in nearly 6 years, John. This is a whale of a game. Maryland down by 4 late second half. Dante Scott, the jumper and the foul, made the free throw. 58-55. Under 30 left. Same score. Anthony Cowan, big shot coming up.
He's been sensational. Look at the courage and the distance from which he shot this. That tied the game at 58. Illinois had control of this game, and there's Cowan on defense. Gets the steal, gets fouled. He is doing what upperclassmen do when it matters most. This was icing on the cake. Misses the second free throw. A prayer for Illinois. Felice doesn't get it to go. Heartbreak for Brad Underwood. Euphoria for the rest of College Park.
Number 3 Maryland avoids the upset bug, which most other top teams, it appears, have fallen prey to. They remain perfect at 10-0. 1-point win, 20.7 rebounds, 6 assists for Anthony Cowan Jr. Great game. Not the result Underwood needed there, but if you're Maryland, escape and keep moving on.
Well, and this is why you're starting to see that a dream season may be unfolding for Maryland. And I talked to Mark Turgeon this week, and he feels that with Anthony Cowan and Jalen Smith, they have 2 all-Big Ten stalwarts. But the key to this team is Aaron Wiggins. If Aaron Wiggins can become a consistent 15 to 17 point per game scorer, Maryland can be a team that we'll see in the Final Four in Atlanta.
All right, well done. Another top 5 team in action is number 2 Kansas welcomed 20th-ranked Colorado to town. Former Big 12 rivals here, John, in 15-9 first half. Devon Dotson on the drive.
Maybe the best inside-outside combination in college basketball with Dotson and Udoka Azubuike.
And hard to the bucket again from Dotson. Marcus Garrett under 10 seconds left in the half to Azubuike there, and then Ochai Agbaji from outside.
Yeah, you like Colorado's pieces, Brent, but do they have enough offense right now? Not so much. You're going to not have a lot of chances to win at the Fog if you can't score the basketball.
All right, Agbaji, 14 points on 6 of 11, 7 rebounds. Dotson in double figures as well, 46-32 second half. 12th-ranked Arizona, 18th-ranked Baylor. Maceo Teague had 3 of his 19 right here.
Yeah, one of the best backcourts Scott Drew has ever had. One of the reasons why Maceo Teague, the transfer from UNC Asheville, has been sensational. Look at the lob inside and the finish. Baylor only shot about 30% from the field today. Still had a chance to beat a team like Arizona, but the Wildcats going back. Josh Green with the floater. He was under the weather coming into this game. That made it a 6-point game. More from Baylor. Davion Mitchell over Devontae Bandu. Into Freddie Gillespie. Started his career as a Division III player at 17 and 13 today against Arizona. Baylor, a dark horse for the Final Four.
You're loving them. 5-point victory. Gillespie, Teague, Butler, as you alluded to, all in double figures in that game. All right, 5-point lead for Tavion Hollingsworth and company. 5 points, 5 boards, 4 assists for him. And it's 33-28. More to come on AT&T at the half. Other scores of the SEC, Ole Miss beats Cal State Bakersfield 83-67. The Rebels 6-3. And at halftime, Missouri taking on Temple, and the Tigers up 33-27. Fairleigh Dickinson on the road at number 8 Kentucky. E.J. Montgomery on the firm stick back here, John.
Yeah, he had a really good offensive day. Kentucky, again, building up towards their December schedule. They've got Ohio State on the 21st, and on the 28th, they will play Louisville. Both games, Brent, on CBS.
You got it. Then Keon Brooks, Jr., 3 and 65-35. They go on to win. 83-52, 7-1 for Coach Cal's guys. Florida taking on 24th-ranked Butler. You love this Butler team early on this season.
Sean McDermott, a young Wally Zerbiak, in spurts, makes the 3-point shot. The thing you love about this Butler team is its role allocation. I talked to LaVall Jordan after the game. He said everything is concrete, especially who's scoring, who's defending, who's doing the intangible things. As you can see, very pleased with this team's effort.
76-62 the final. Earlier on CBS Sports Network, Memphis and UAB down the wire. Precious Achiuwa, the tip in for 2. 56-55, way to stick with it. Minute later, UAB down 3.
UAB was sensational in the execution of its game plan, but just not enough firepower. Memphis wins in the mud in Birmingham.
65-57, Boogie Ellis, a big shot late there. Penn State, number 6 Ohio State, Luther Muhammad feeding Caleb Weston.
Caleb Weston is leaner. He's hungrier for success, not for off-the-menu foods that he shouldn't be having. That's why he's able to knock down all these 3-point shots, and you see the versatility. Kyle Young, one of the great glue guys in the country. Ohio State, the most impressive team I've seen so far this season.
106-74, certainly impressive. Hawaii at 13th ranked Oregon. Ryland in the shot inside there. Hawaii hanging around 37-34 early second half.
Yeah, but the Ducks so tough in the Great Northwest because of that guy. Peyton Pritchard, been in college 11 years, feels like 17. Pritchard over over on the wing. Oregon again looking like the team to beat in the Pac-12 Conference. An unbelievable finish here. Fresno State tied the game at the end of regulation, but Justin Bean, one of the great intangible players on the West Coast, another double-double. Utah State holding serve in the Mountain West.
Incredible. The 9-1 in overtime. They get victory quickly on Ohio State. Your take there?
Look at the resume right now for Chris Holtmann and company. Wins over Cincinnati, Penn State, and Villanova, and also a 25-point win over North Carolina and Chapel Hill. They still have Kentucky in the CBS Sports Classic. They still have West Virginia and Cleveland. I know it's December 7th, but Ohio State right now in position, if they handle business, to be a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament, or at least a top seed.
Incredible. John Ross team. He's good. He brings everything. Second half, Arkansas, Western Kentucky comes your way next.
Thank you for watching AT&T at the Half. College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by AT&T.
Great environment here tonight at EA Diddle Arena, campus of Western Kentucky University, and the Hilltoppers on top by 5 as we're just about set to begin the second half alongside Mike O'Donnell, Ben Holden with you. Great to have you with us wherever you're watching tonight. And for Arkansas, they've trailed one time. This will be the second in the second half this season. They trailed 20 seconds at Georgia Tech, so a little bit of uncharted waters for them. What are your biggest takeaways, though, from half one?
I think points in the paint for Western Kentucky is a big deal right now, and Arkansas can't really find any rhythm around the rim defensively to box out, gather a rebound, get out and go. But it's been Western Kentucky's defense that's actually been the story. Only 28 first half points for Arkansas.
Take a look at the moving pictures from the opening half, and Jimmy Witt, he was quick-witted in the entire first half, had a big half.
He was the one bright spot for Arkansas, 12 points, 7 assists. And then Western Kentucky started to get a little bit of a rhythm. They went attack mode at the rim where it was drive, attack. Hollingsworth had a really good first half, had 5 points, 4 assists, couple rebounds. Then the dish over to Jimmy Witt. All of a sudden, you're starting to see more life by Arkansas. This was the play. Desi Sills, an unbelievable defensive one-on-one play for Sills, kind of ignited an Arkansas energy run. And then as soon as that run happened, the big fella, the man, Carson Williams, block after block, gets into the paint, makes a play. Arkansas keeps trying to get to the rim, but they can't find any continuity close to the basket, largely in fact, not just to Charles Bassey, but to Carson Williams.
Second half underway. Hilltoppers in the home white. Arkansas 8-0. They are one of 12 teams that remain undefeated in college basketball. Off to a terrific start under first-year head coach Eric Musselman. In a position they are, as I mentioned, not used to being in this season. They've only trailed 20 seconds entering this game in the second half of any game, Mike.
You know, going back to Western Kentucky, though, Charles Bassey only has 6 points. And if you told me that Bassey only had 6 in the first half and they'd be winning this game, I'd tell you
wouldn't have bought?
No way. No way. But it's been the role players for the Hilltoppers that have really stepped up.
Carson Williams, as you showed us in the highlights, some big plays at both ends of the floor.
Savage's 4-point play was huge.
That was,
3 and 1. That was a big, and he's quietly had a really nice defensive game as well.
So you're saying he's been a savage.
There you go.
Nice jump shot there, knocked down.
It's pretty. We've seen some old school basketball moves in this game.
I like it.
Between Hollingsworth and Jimmy Witt.
Here's Witt now, watched by Hollingsworth. From downtown, no good. Carson Williams, a rebound. Savage was way up court, calling for it. I don't think Williams saw him. Hollingsworth now will feed it inside to Bassey. Blocked from behind. Big time play there by Adriel Bailey. You said in the first half he'd have to be big, and that was huge.
Yeah, because he got caught. If Bassey didn't bring the ball down to his waist, that's probably a dunk. He allowed time for Bailey to get back into the play.
Team leader in block shots is Bailey. Witt the pass to Bailey, and he gets rewarded at the other end, does Adriel Bailey. And we got a whistle. Nick Stansberry there pleading with one of the officials. Witt waiting for Hollingsworth.
Here comes Bassett on the roll. They're going to look for him.
Williams had it stripped, though. Good hands in there. Sills comes away with it. He's got Witt. Sills takes it himself. Arkansas off to a good start here early.
Boy, the lefty is smooth, isn't he?
He is.
I mean, he's got
silky.
Great pace to his game. He understands how and when to make a play around the rim.
Justice hands off to Hollingsworth. He's doubled. Bassey's open inside. Wanted to dunk that. Kind of got hung up in the air. And the foul called inside.
Let's be overcritical here. Those are the plays that NBA scouts want to see him convert, right? You don't want to see one little tip ball kind of affect your and one dunk at the rim, right? That's some of that strength and consistency that is wanted to be seen from Charles Bassey.
Over a dozen NBA scouts in the building tonight.
He's a good free throw shooter. He's over 75% from the line.
Yeah, 77.8.
The more he's at the free throw line and you can make free throws, your confidence builds, and it really puts Arkansas at a disadvantage because of their lack of front court depth.
He's a product of Nigeria, grew up playing soccer. He's only played basketball about 5 years. Now in his 6th year, I suppose. 4 years of high school when he moved to Texas. That's where he and Rick Stansbury first met. Sills to Jones, or Bailey, I beg your pardon, to the baseline. He couldn't handle it. Turnover, Arkansas.
You don't just wake up one day and become freshman of the year in Conference USA and defensive player of the year.
Yeah. Right,
I mean,
right.
You've got to put in work, and you've got to have great skill, and Charles Bassey does both.
Yep, he does. Big number 23 in white. Trying to get position against Bailey. Bailey doing a good job fronting him there. Savage into the corner. Open look, Cameron Justice. Spin out with the rebound. He leads him in rebounds. Sills back the other way. And Hollingsworth, what'd you think there, partner?
Looked like all ball there.
Did.
Looked all ball. But here's what the referee sees. If you're going to swipe down on the basketball, there's more than a 50% chance that the referee sees hand action, right? Your hand goes down. If you swipe up for the ball, you're going to get that no call more often than not.
Fans, you heard them reacting, the Western Kentucky fans here to that call. Witt inside into the corner. He goes on the way from downtown, and number 3 knocks it down for 3. It's a 2-point game.
How smart is Jimmy Witt, though? You know, I mean, he could have had that maybe a contested 2, kicks it out to a better 3. That's a point guard, right?
Yep.
You turn down a good shot to get a great shot.
Yep. Averages 2.1 assists per game. They try to go inside. It was nice help defense there. Very nice.
Now, that's Arkansas basketball to a T. That's help to helper. And against Charles Bassey, you have to have weak side help or you'll get carved up because he'll just go over the top, and Western Kentucky will just overload that strong side, ball side.
There's Witt now on the offensive end. Floats it and off the glass. And this game is tied up.
That's a horse shot. That's a shot that you shoot when you're playing horse. There's very few guys in the country that can make a, from the left side as a right-hander, a fadeaway jumper.
Good hands there by Jalen Harris. Harris gets it back, adjusts, lays it up and in. What a sequence there for Jalen Harris, the junior out of Wilson, North Carolina.
He's such a spark plug for this Razorback team, not just defensively, but he's a really gifted playmaker on the offensive end.
An 11-2 run, approaching 2.5 minutes here for the Razorbacks to begin this second half. We got a foul called here.
Watch Jimmy Witt. He's right-handed. That's like a quarterback rolling out to the left and throwing to the opposite corner, 40 for a 40-yarder.
Very nice.
You weren't ready for that football breakdown there, man. I know you weren't ready for that.
I welcome it. It's good to mix sports together, I think. Bassey,
nice
good
pass.
look to Williams, and Carson Williams puts it through.
It's another beautiful part of Bass's game. He has good vision at the top of the key.
Crowd into it. Student section there in the end that Arkansas is shooting at. They put about 1,200 students in there. Not sure of the standing room only count, but that's the number we were told earlier today at shoot-around. Isaiah Joe show and go strong to the rack.
Joe is known as a shooter. I think his game is better when he puts it on the deck to make plays.
16-footer for Hollingsworth. Bailey the rebound. Arkansas has made their last 6 shots.
Oh, we got him.
Joe make it 7 from downtown. He's not your average Joe.
No, that's why you're preseason all-conference in the SEC. I mean, when you're making there are a lot of guys in college basketball that make a play, a crossover, going to the left, fadeaway three. Isaiah Joe getting Arkansas back into this game. You got the Razorbacks up 44-39. Arkansas 44-39 here. Now check out this play. Design set play by Stansbury, trying to get Carson Williams involved in some action. Now Savage doesn't see him initially, and you see his eyes spin and post. As soon as the ball gets swung, watch the spin and post by Williams. That is textbook post-up offense by Carson Williams, and a beautiful pass by Charles Bassey.
Williams having a strong night. However, Arkansas here in the early stages of the second half, they've already outscored the Hilltoppers by 10, 16-6 to extend their lead on Rick Stansbury's crew to 5 with 15:23 to go in the ball game.
The biggest difference maker right now is that Arkansas has 17 points off Western Kentucky's turnovers. They're starting to take advantage of some of those difficult plays by the Hilltoppers.
Arkansas, one of 12 unbeaten teams left in the Division I ranks, and Cameron Justice, he can shoot it from outside, but he can do that too and blow right by you.
You'd like to see a little bit more of that from Cameron Justice, wouldn't you? Because he has the skill to put it on the deck and make plays.
3-point game. Isaiah Joe watched by Savage. Hollingsworth keeping an eye on Jimmy Witt. Jimmy Witt gets it back in the lane. Little mid-range jumper, no good. Bassey the rebound. Quickly ahead, too much for Williams. Witt comes away, quickly pushes for Desi Sills. He'll go right in. Nearly got that to go, but he had 6'11" Charles Bassey to deal with. Drop back for the three.
Oh, no.
Savage got it!
Oh no!
From downtown, Jared Savage.
Cameron Justice went between the legs. Pass. Oh no!
Tied up at 44. Jalen Harris, 5 against 5. Harris got it to go and 1.
How smooth was that spin cycle by Jalen Harris?
Beautifully done.
Going back and forth this game. Ben, this is awesome. They're paying us to do this. Between the legs pass for the jumper by Savage. Get out of town.
2-point Arkansas lead. A little more than 14 minutes remaining in this one. A good ball game. Arkansas on top by 2, 46-44, as we get a look now at our AT&T fast analysis, and it's courtesy of Jimmy Witt.
Jimmy Witt is not your normal point guard. He wants mid-range jumpers. He has no desire to take a three. He'd rather be active around the rim, and he's the best rebounding point guard in college basketball. You love his game. You think it's not a big deal. If he doesn't shoot threes, he still gets his points. He's got 14 points, 8 rebounds. He's having himself a night.
7 for 12 shooting the basketball.
I had a chance to cover him a lot at SMU, doing a lot of work for the American Conference, and he was always one of the most underappreciated players in that conference, because you watch him play and there may not be any flash to it, but all of a sudden you'll look up and you'll say, wow, he's got 16 points, 7 assists, and 8 rebounds, and he just did that every single night.
Started his career in 2015 at Arkansas. And was at SMU for the last 3 seasons. Redshirted one of those years in 2016. 63 games, started 63 of them. So his second stint, Savage squares up from downtown. And Anderson trying to get a piece of it, but it went out of bounds off of him, goes back to the Razorbacks.
Savage thought about it too long. That wasn't his normal release. When he shoots it slow, he's going to be short every time.
Jalen Harris looking for help there. Got a little bit from Reggie Chaney. Chaney down on the block now. Chaney to Sills from downtown. Stuck it. Desi Sills.
Total defensive collapse. Everybody was just watching the ball, not paying attention to where their man was.
Here's Justice playing with 3 fouls. You said the last time he did that, want to see him do that more, take it to the basket. Bassey got tangled up there for Western Kentucky with Reggie Chaney.
I thought he got hit. I don't mind him missing one of those plays around the rim, because I feel that when Justice is aggressive, everybody else forgets about Bassey, and that's a good thing. If you start forgetting about Bassey, all of a sudden he catches a rhythm. The more aggressive Justice is, I think the better the Hilltoppers are.
Here's Harris with it. Forced out by Bassey. Now Desi Sills doubled, kicked it out to Witt. Anderson on Witt. Shot clock under 10. Harris out near midcourt. Harris too strong. Justice had it, lost it. Harris had it, but I believe he stepped out of bounds, and he did.
Outside of that giving up an offensive rebound, that was one of the better defensive possessions for Western Kentucky in man-to-man. Really great gap defense by the Hilltoppers.
Hilltoppers with the basketball, down by a half dozen. Inside to Bassey, blocked from behind by Chaney.
If you're Charles Bassey, you have to know the defender is going to be in front of you and someone's coming from behind. It's a good time to finish weak side right here. If he finishes on the weak side with his left hand, that's a bucket.
Yep. Justice in tight again. Got it to go and one. And the foul is going to be called on Desi Sills to make it a 4-point game as Justice will go to the stripe.
I think that's your guy, Ben. You know, I think Justice is the player for, you know, every game you have a player who needs to step up and maybe make more plays than they would normally do.
Yeah.
That's Cameron Justice right now.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to get it done with the three. He's breaking down Arkansas with the dribble and plays at the rim.
Caps off the three-point play to make it a one-possession game. Back in for the Hilltoppers, 22 Carson Williams there, and number 11 Tavion Hollingsworth.
It's Justice and Bassey on the floor. They were very productive in those last 3 minutes. See if Hollingsworth and Williams can do the same.
Here's Witt. Into the corner, on the way for three. Chaney up. Nice work on the offensive glass by Chaney. Fresh 20. But they call him for a travel.
But I love that play by Reggie Chaney. I think he could be the difference maker for Arkansas if he's consistently brings effort every night. That's a guy that can work his way into the starting lineup.
Anderson, some big plays in the first half here against Mason Jones. Rawls now, Jones picks him up. Williams trying to set a screen. Good pass into the corner, step back on the way. Savage canned it.
I love me a good step back jumper. But I love even more the penetration by the freshman Jordan Rawls, making a play late in the shot clock. Love it.
Freshman out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Here's Witt, fade away, tough shot, healed it. Flying in, trying to get it there was Harris. Here come the Hilltoppers. Rawls to Anderson, skipping to the corner, wide open look for Hollingsworth. Instead, he'll float one of the baseline, and it didn't go into the hands of Witt.
Almost looked like Hollingsworth was unsure what to do on that play.
It did.
I think I'd let that three go. You know, you're in rhythm. It's a good skip. I know you would.
I know you would have too.
You're a gunner.
That was the only game I had in basketball. I was shooting it. Here's Witt. 2 assists and 8 rebounds for him. Got 14 points. Shot clock under 5 now. Chaney out on to set the screen, and that's a violation. Great defensive stand by the Hilltoppers there, trailing by 1. 50-49, Arkansas on top. They're going nuts here at EA Diddle Arena, looking for an upset of the Hilltoppers. We got a good one here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. 8-0 Arkansas on top of Western Kentucky by 150-49 in a great non-conference matchup. And coming up tonight, 1 a.m. Eastern, we get you all the latest updates and results from Championship Saturday on Inside College Football, only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Lane Kiffin and the Owls of FAU win Conference USA. It was on our air earlier today. And Lane Kiffin headed to the SEC himself, to Ole Miss. And Arkansas, they are still in search of a new football coach after letting Chad Morris go late in the season. So we'll see how that pans out in Fayetteville.
So, Ben, you've been following college football more than I have.
Yep.
Even though
just finished the season last week.
So, what do you think SEC Media Days are going to be like with Lane Kiffin and Nick Saban?
Ooh, that will be, to use a Seinfeld reference, that'll be spicy. Mike Leach rumored to be going to the SEC.
No, you can't do that to me.
That would be really spicy. Back to the ball game here as we near the midway point. Inside, and Chaney challenging Williams. Here's Mason Jones back the other way, out of control. Anderson the rebound, and he stepped out. He could not maintain his balance there.
Fantastic offense by Western Kentucky. It was a great set play, and he's wide open underneath the rim. It's just a better play by Chaney.
And for Chaney, 2 blocks in the second half. He's now got at least 1 block in 28 of 39 career games played.
Chaney needs to be consistent like this from an effort standpoint, because the front court in the SEC, it's going to be an absolute battle for Arkansas to maintain that. That's why Chaney is such a key component to this team.
He's played really well here in the second half.
Absolutely.
Really has, nearing the midway point. Hollingsworth.
Good hands by Jimmy Witt.
Yep. From what I've seen, everything about him is good.
No question.
Yeah. Up top, Anderson trying to track it, 5 seconds and counting. He's going to launch from downtown. And Williams with an offensive rebound, blocked again inside by Chaney. That's 3 in this half for him. Mason Jones down on the block to Chaney. Got a size advantage in terms of height against Williams. Gets it out for Isaiah Joe. No good for 3.
It's a good shot by Arkansas. You got your best 3-point shooter, an open look. Chaney didn't turn the ball over, even though he was doubled. I'm okay with that possession.
Here's Williams. Chaney watching him. They feed it back into the blender. And Williams, what a move! What feet by Williams!
Carson Williams says, I want all that smoke that you got, Chaney. Just no fear.
7-0 run for the Hilltoppers. They take the lead back. It's a 7-0 run in 3 minutes and 20 seconds and counting. They've got 28 points in the paint. Isaiah Joe silencing the crowd and giving the Razorbacks a 2-point lead.
You know, he's played pretty well this game. You wonder if this is the game that kind of jump starts his season, because he hasn't shot the ball statistically very well. I mean, could this be the game that gets him out of his slump?
Came in the last 4, shooting at 24% from the field and from downtown. The miss there. Here comes Desi Sills. Desi Sills. And draws the foul, does Sills, as they came back trying to swat that away.
It's my favorite things about Arkansas's backcourt is their ability to switch feet. And as you take a look at Carson Williams, up under old school shades of Kevin McHale, your era there, Ben Holden.
That's right. The 80s were a great era in the NBA.
Desi Sills, you're dating yourself big time.
That's all right. I don't mind.
I brought it up. I brought up Kevin
understand.
McHale. The backcourt for Arkansas, when they're in transition, that step-through move, the body control, the change of space while you're sprinting 100 miles an hour, that's a teachable skill. You know, Coach Musselman really works on that. Jimmy Witt does it. Desi Sills does it. Mason Jones does it really well in the fast break.
Jordan Savage, Jared Savage, I beg your pardon, stepping out of the game momentarily. Justice is back in. Number 5 for the Hilltoppers. He's got a dozen, leading their team. 7th time in 10 games he's been in double figures. He's got the rock now. Takes it to the basket, kicks it into the corner, and it turned it over as he was trying to find Jordan Rawls. Hilltopper saying it was touched by Arkansas.
Stansberry was almost inside the 3-point line.
Yes, he was.
It looked like it did get touched, though.
Here's Witt with the ball now.
You ever wonder why this game is so fast? One of the reasons why is Coach Musselman never calls timeouts.
No. Mason Jones, Cameron Justice on him, contests it. Williams the rebound inside. Rawls now pushes for Anderson. Williams, screen on Sills, gives Rawls a little separation. Nice floater there.
The freshman's had a really good game, isn't he? He can break down his defender off the dribble almost at will. It's just whether or not afterwards does he make the right play, and he has done most of the time that tonight.
Sills. Corner Jones. Feed it on the block. Cheney into the near side corner on the way. No good. Rebound into the hands of Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth, he'll push the tempo. Off to Anderson. Strong to the rack. And he finishes. Tied up at 55.
A lot of players would have taken a bad shot there, but Hollingsworth turned down a contested shot to find a teammate. Mr. Consistent Hollingsworth. Oh, they missed Cheney on the roll. Jimmy Witt missed Cheney wide open on the roll.
9 points for Anderson. Coming up on 7 left in this one. Jimmy Witt, double team, looking for somebody. Turned it over. Comes back, though, down on the deck. Great hustle by Witt. Now Desi Sills will take it in. Lefty got it! Wow, what a sequence for Arkansas. Defense leads to offense, and a 3-point play attempt coming up for the Razorbacks. Long way to go on this one. We got a good one. 57-55 Arkansas. Well, get a look at our game summary to this point, Mike, and what stands out the most for you?
Well, I think you look at the three-point shooting coupled with the points in the paint for Western Kentucky, right? 4-15 from the three, so you're not making outside shots. So what do you do to stay in this game? Points in the paint. I got to tell you, the one-on-one offense versus defense for Western Kentucky, that's been their bread and butter. When they've tried to force deep threes, hasn't worked out for them. They need rim attack every single possession.
Mike O'Donnell, Ben Holden, great to have you with us. What are you looking for the most here in the final 7 minutes of this thing?
Well, will Charles Bassey make any kind of plays inside of the offense? He hasn't had to do that, but if Bassey, in this last really under 7 minutes, if they can start running action for him, that takes so much pressure off of your role players, specifically Justice and Hollingsworth, to kind of figure out how to flow offensively.
Keep our eyes on that. Great environment here at EA Diddle Arena in Bowling Green, Kentucky. One coming here for Sills, trying to complete the three-point play. Going to put the Razorbacks on top by 3. Calmly does.
That's 15 points for Desi Sills. He has had himself a really, really good game.
Following up on Charles Bassey, 8 points, 5 rebounds, and a block so far here tonight for the Hilltoppers.
They're trying to get inside to Bassey. You feel like you've got a mismatch. That's your point guard, Jimmy Witt.
Yes.
But how good is Witt?
6'3" to the bucket, and the foul's going to be called on Cheney.
It was really an excellent job by Jimmy Witt to front the post, work, physical push, because you know Bassey has the size and strength advantage. But if you can play angles and be annoying, that's what you have to do as a point guard. You have to be annoying. You have to push back.
Tell you what, that play he made, Witt, before the break, diving right in front of us at midcourt, led to Sills going in and getting the bucket, then the three-point play completed.
That's Arkansas's identity, right?
Little
Toughness,
things like that,
that's exactly right.
Exactly,
That's Eric Musselman team to a T.
It's not quite 40 minutes of hell like it used to be. It's a different type.
It's 40 minutes of extreme frustration.
Exactly. Yeah. Hollingsworth makes it a 2-point game. Here come the Razorbacks. Jalen Harris looking at his head coach, Eric Musselman, his first year off to an 8-0 start. The best start in Arkansas history for a first-year head coach. 10-0 back in 42-43 by Eugene Lambert.
That's where Arkansas has some trouble, that 2-3 zone for the Hilltoppers.
Joe in the corner for 3, too strong. Hollingsworth has it.
It's a pretty good look for Arkansas.
Hollingsworth gets by Joe. And Bailey there throws it up and gets it to go. Are you kidding me?
Directly. It's pickup ball now, Ben. Are you better than me? That's it. That's what we got right now.
Love it. From downtown on the way, no good. Anderson and Bassey in there and tight. Anderson came over the basketball. Listen to this crowd. Anderson watched by Isaiah Joe. Anderson looked like he wanted to step back for the 3, didn't. Gave it off to Cameron Justice, playing with 3 fouls. Justice, shot clock to 5 now. Razorbacks doing what they do, defending Anderson. Couldn't get it to go, but the offensive board and a fresh 20. Hollingsworth in tight again, Mike.
I got to tell you, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Hollingsworth, because I was about to say, pull it out, run your offense, do something clean.
2-point lead, Hilltoppers.
A sense of uncertainty for Arkansas on the offensive end. The zone is frustrating the Razorbacks.
Here's Witt. Mid-range shot, missed it. Mason Jones the rebound. And he's fouled. He'll go to the line and shoot a couple with 4:41 to play here in the second half.
I just love Mason Jones' game. He's quiet for a while, and then he makes a high IQ play around the rim. He knows that Charles Bassey is one of the best shot blockers in the country, so what does he do? Pump fakes, sends him to the moon, gets to the free throw line. That's a savvy play by a great player.
And 15 points against the Hilltoppers, and the 1-point loss for the Razorbacks last year.
Tight ball games. Which players do you want to have the ball or making plays at the end of the game? The player that I want for Arkansas is Mason Jones. 93% from the line, always makes the right decision. That's the guy that I'd want to run action for here in this last 4:41.
Leads the SEC with that 93%, 20th in the country. Made 36 straight at one point. That streak was snapped in that win at Georgia Tech. 8 ties, 9 lead changes. Tied at 60 with 4.5 to go. Hollingsworth down the lane. And he's fouled on his way there, trying to hop step his way through there.
I don't know how you guard Hollingsworth.
He's speedy.
Well, his change of pace and the way that he's not just fast, but he's quick going east to west. And he can go from slow to fast. That's what makes you really hard to guard, is your change of speed.
So 20 on the shot clock. Cameron Justice in tight. And that wouldn't go. Bassey up trying to get it, and does. He'll put it back up and through. 10 points for Charles Bassey.
And that's what you want. You get a fist pump from the Western Kentucky bench, because that's what you want from Charles Bassey.
2-point Hilltopper lead. Coming up on 4 to play in this one.
Your Arkansas, where's Mason Jones?
Harris, he tried to go inside there to Bailey. And deflected out of bounds. 14 remains on the shot clock for the Razorbacks. Jalen Harris is checked out of the game for Arkansas.
When you switch from man to zone like Western Kentucky is, it forces the offense to think. And when the offense has to think, it automatically slows down, and that's what you're seeing from the Razorbacks.
Here is Desi Sills. Got away from him, but Mason Jones gathers it. Shot clock now to 5. Mason Jones against Justice, playing with 3. Not happy. That's his 4th foul on Justice.
On first look, that looks like the correct call to me. I mean, you can't just crowd a player, try to bump him. Mason Jones is too smart for that. That's actually could have been an offensive foul. My bad. Wow, tough call.
Now this is an environment.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it.
Old school. You can feel the floor shaking right now.
It's great. This is an incredible atmosphere. I mean, virtually sold out. The student section is rocking. People are wearing really weird hats. I mean, that's what you want from college basketball, right?
Terrific stuff. Great game. 2-point lead for the home squad. 62-60. What are the biggest things you're looking for in the final 354?
Well, first you have to understand who Arkansas is and why it's really hard to play in tight games versus Arkansas, because it's so hard to get really good shots against that defense. And Arkansas is a great free throw shooting team, one of the best free throw shooting teams in the SEC. So you can't just play cat and mouse with a physical, tough, defensive-minded team like Arkansas.
Jones good on the first to make it a 1-point game. Mason Jones has 5 points to this point of the game.
possessions come at such a premium. If I'm Western Kentucky, I'd love to run some action for Charles Bassey. To me, it's Bassey time now.
Yep, I agree with you. Here we go, tied at 62.
There's the matchup. Adriel Bailey, number 2 for Arkansas. He's got the assignment.
Bailey goes 6'6", Bassey 6'11". Uh-oh. And he went down awkwardly and immediately grabbed his left knee.
Oh, no.
Immediately went down. He reached for that left knee immediately. Oh, boy.
No. Oh, no.
Trying to get him calm, but I don't know how you get anybody calm when that happens.
You really hate that for any player, but someone who's put in so much work.
Rick Stansbury out there on the right, who's known him since he first came to the United States. They formed a bond, and this is just terrible to see right now. There is obvious concern for the big fella. Charles Bassey down. Immediately reached for that left knee when he went down.
That's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is.
And we can't guess, but
no, we won't.
If you can't hear it, he is
vocally
very upset.
You can hear a pin drop in EA Diddle Arena right now after Bassey went down. As they're huddled around, you see the concern on the faces. Team trainer still trying to calm him down.
There wasn't any play by any Arkansas player that it wasn't intentional.
No.
He just came down on such an odd angle and hyperextended his knee.
Yep. You see him being helped off, and you hope for the best for anyone that is injured. The Arkansas bench, they're up. The fans chanting Bassey, being helped off there by his teammate who comes in and backs him up. Matt Horton, the senior out of Tuscaloosa. And you can only hope for the best, but that did not look good when he went down.
Well, they ran a play for him. They knew they had a mismatch in the post. And now if you have to erase that. That's the reality of it. If you're Western Kentucky, you have to erase it. And who's your next guy that steps up?
Here's Jimmy Witt. Such a talented, well-rounded player. He has been fun to watch tonight. Coming up on 3 to play. Shot clock under 10. Jones down the lane. No good. Anderson the rebound. He's had a big night for the Hilltoppers as Josh Anderson. Here he goes down the lane. Up and no good. Got it back though. And it won't go inside.
This place almost exploded.
It did.
Everybody got up on their feet because it felt like it was on the rim for 10 seconds.
Yep. Here's a look.
Just an athletic. I mean, this is just someone out-athleting the other person. I mean, just a great hard-nosed, gritty play by Anderson.
Bailey in there trying to swat it. Calling for the personal foul is Adriel Bailey.
Anderson's that player that steps up in big games. He was named to the all-tournament team in the Conference USA tournament last season. So when you need Anderson to step up, he does it. Is he that guy that can kind of replace some of that Bassett firepower for Western Kentucky?
He's got a dozen here tonight.
Played really, really well.
Playing with 4 fouls with 3:09 to go. Hilltoppers by 1.
And for Arkansas, it's Mason Jones time. Hilltoppers are in man-to-man. It's a great time to run action. Run a set for Jones.
Inside of 3 minutes to play. Arkansas 8-0 and a 12 unbeatens left in college basketball from downtown. Oh, he is no ordinary Joe. Isaiah Joe drains it. And right back come the Hilltoppers. Savage couldn't connect from downtown. Mason Jones with the basketball.
Ben, the highest degree of difficulty. Isaiah Joe just in your eyeball. My goodness.
Incredible. Here he is. You said he needed to take over. Here's Isaiah Joe with it. Williams out on him. He's going to launch from downtown. No good. Witt trying to track it and does. And tiptoes the baseline.
Is that Jimmy Witt? Is that Jimmy Witt basketball or what?
Totally.
He's everywhere.
He is. Does it all. Use a baseball term. He's a 5-tool guy. Here's Witt. Shot clock to 5 now. Against Savage. Witt fadeaway. And rebounded by Cameron Justice with a minute 55 to go. Justice. Tough shot. Swatted by Adriel Bailey. Mason Jones now over the timeline. In the corner, Sills got it for 3. Desi Sills knocks it down.
Razorback identity, great defensive play, unselfish on the offensive end. That's how you draw it up if you're Coach Muss.
And Eric Musselman told us this morning he's got a foul call here, looks like on Bailey. He said, I've been blown away by this team in the sense, the way that they have played defensively.
He's been able to coach them more than he thought he was going to because of their commitment to defense. Big block on one end, the extra pass. And think about it this way, Isaiah Joe is on fire right now.
He really is.
And he turns down a shot that he could shoot to get his teammate a better shot. That's a sign of a great team.
Coming up next, the Wrangler National Finals rodeo action starts early as we recap all the best moments so far and get you ready for another night of the top-notch competition right here on CBS Sports Network from the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas. Coming up on 80 seconds remaining. 4-point lead for the Razorbacks. They've got the rock. Trying to remain undefeated and move to 9-0. Mason Jones burning a little time. Now he'll drive baseline on Williams. Skips it up top. Sills has had quite a night. Lefty off the glass. He's got 20.
Just been the man.
Really has.
Just stepping up and making play after play.
Here's Hollingsworth. Runs out of real estate. Into the corner. Cameron Justice.
You got to shoot that if you're Cameron Justice. You got to let that go.
Hollingsworth. And that one drops. And Stansbury will take a timeout with 47.9 to go. It's a 4-point Arkansas lead. We'll step aside for a quick 30 and be back for the exciting finish after this. Arkansas, their huddle. They're on top by 4 here with 47.9. We revisit your keys, Michael O'Donnell. How have they worked out?
You know what? Arkansas, they're losing the rebounding battle, but they're not getting crushed. You're okay if they lose it by maybe 3 or 4.
Right.
Fouling situation hasn't been great. Western Kentucky's done a phenomenal job going inside. 20 points in the paint in the first half with 14 turnovers. You need to be at a minimum 10 turnovers to really kind of beat this Arkansas team because they're not going to beat themselves.
Right. Dead right. Good stuff there. Mike's keys of the game. And so you got 47.9 left. Western Kentucky's got 1 timeout left, trailing by 4 to Eric Musselman's squad, and the possession arrow with Musselman's guys too.
Go for a quick trap here and see if you get it. And they didn't want to foul right away. They did not want to do that.
Yep. Hollingsworth, who has 15, a season high, 8 rebounds and 5 assists, but you're right, he didn't want to do that.
There are 2 guys that you do not want to foul early on. It was Isaiah Joe and Mason Jones.
Correct.
That's a silly foul.
Yep, that one.
You got to know, even if you're unsure, you got to have your hands up, and there has to be no doubt in the referee's mind that you're not going in for a reach-in.
Got the first little shooter's touch there as Joe at the free throw line, 83.3 entering the ball game tonight. 5 of 5 in his last outing against Austin Peay. And that one won't drop, and it nearly went. Bailey on the rim, and they're going to call for interference.
Boy, you don't see that very often. As the offensive player on the free throw line, able to go to the other side of the rim.
Here he comes.
For almost tip dunk. Ooh, I don't know, that was close.
Wow. And I'm not a referee. Finally picked up as Hollingsworth saves some time, and that one goes flying out of bounds. Foul's going to be called on Jimmy Witt, who's had quite a night for the Razorbacks.
The Arkansas coaching staff is really upset at Jimmy Witt.
Yeah.
It's the last thing you want to do is to stop the clock. It's not about the free throws. It also allows Western Kentucky to set up a press and an additional play. It's almost like another timeout for Stansbury.
Yep. Hollingsworth, 16 points, a season high. Speaking of Witt, 7th career double-double, 2nd of the season.
And you're seeing Coach Stansbury scream that his guys were not fouling right away.
Right.
Not yet.
Right. This would cut it to a one-possession game, and he does. Doesn't get much better than this. Witt trying to get it in bounds. Joe's there. Justice trying to defend. Good job, good pressure by Western Kentucky. They gotta hurry.
He carried.
And a block. Wow. Block is called. And Savage consoling Hollingsworth. He can't believe it. Neither can the fans. Nearly 7,500.
Stansberry is irate. That is really good defense by Hollingsworth. I mean, great defense.
Another angle here.
Look at his hands. What the ref sees is the initial, but what the ref sees is the initial reach-in by Hollingsworth. There was one quick reach-in by Hollingsworth, and it made the referee second-guess that play, because after the reach-in, it wasn't a foul, that second contact.
So here's Jones, a 93% free throw shooter.
Cold as ice.
So calm. So calm. 4-point game now. Jones good on the second. Here come the Hilltoppers, down by 5. Hollingsworth. And he's fouled on the floor.
So what I saw, not just the foul, I saw Mason Jones carry. Watch what he does with the basketball. He picks it up right here.
Yeah.
That is textbook 101. Look it up in the dictionary. That is a carry.
Good catch by our tape room and our crew. Here's Clark, our producer tonight.
Well, he's a pro.
Gary Nicholas,
that's
our
what pros
director.
do.
Tom Wicks, our AD. So back at the free throw line, the Hilltoppers with 32.3 to go. Down 5. Now 4. Hollingsworth shoots him 79.5 the line.
If you make this free throw, you got to do everything you can to try to get a quick trap, and then you're going for a steal.
3-point game.
The guy to foul, if you're going to foul, is Jimmy Witt.
And he's inbounding, and wow! Western Kentucky, Justice down on the deck. The block called on him.
How great was the anticipation by Justice?
Here it is.
He saw Joe turn, catches the rock. There is no doubt, that left no doubt in the minds of the referees. What a play by Justice.
31.5. What's the strategy for Stansberry and his guys now down 3 here?
You know, you haven't shot the 3-ball well, but the only thing that you do have is Cameron Justice is the best 3-point shooter in Conference USA. So when you're running a set, you have option 1. For me, I'd love to get Justice a 3, a look at a 3. My second option is some type of dribble penetration at the rim, because what have we seen the last 3 or 4 times down the court? Arkansas's fouling.
Right.
They're fouling, they're reaching, they're not being disciplined. So I'd look for the 3 first. If you don't have it, it has to be a dribble attack at the rim.
Okay. There's Justice out on the floor with 12 points. He's got 4 fouls.
Your 2 guys to make plays at the rim are Anderson and Hollingsworth. Those are your 2 big-time playmakers outside of Justice.
Arkansas, one of 12 remaining unbeatens in the NCAA. Trying to go to 9-0 on the road, getting all they can handle from Western Kentucky. There's a 3 from the corner, got it! Knocked down by Jared Savage, the hometown product. Tie game. Musselman looking at Mason Jones. He's going to play it. Here we go. It's going to come down to this. Mason Jones had the 3-pointer against Georgia Tech to win it with 1/10 of a second left. He's still got the ball. Bailey out, and Jones fires. Witt put back, no good. And we're going to overtime.
Man, I thought Jones got hit.
Wow.
It looked like he got fouled on that 3.
It did.
The offensive rebound almost killed Western Kentucky. How about the 3 by Savage?
Unreal.
The decoy caught everybody by surprise. Let's see if we see a little contact. Oh boy, Ben, that's Anderson, a lot of contact.
Yeah. Witt nearly got that to go. Take another look. There's the three to tie it.
But the balance by Savage, just an absolute dagger.
Overtime on the other side of this short but important timeout. Tied at 73. 73 apiece, start of overtime alongside Mike O'Donnell. My name is Ben Holden, all of our crew, and Arkansas trying to remain undefeated. They are getting all they can handle. Here's the attempt by Mason Jones at the end, Mike.
That's why I think there's a foul, because his wrist momentum changes. And because it changes, Mason Jones is a great three-point shooter. He's a top 5 scorer in the SEC. He shoots 93% from the free throw line. His form is impeccable. Watch his wrist change direction. To me, that's a foul. That's a missed call by the referee.
Jimmy Witt tried to win it, could not get the stick back, and we're headed to overtime. Arkansas beat Georgia Tech 62-61 back in late November in Atlanta. As for Western Kentucky, the last time they played in overtime, you got to go back to March 6th of last season. They lost to Texas San Antonio by 5, 81-76. So here we go. Last year it was Western Kentucky winning in Fayetteville 78-77. Another great one here tonight. Anderson up and good.
He's been the MVP of the second half for the Hilltoppers.
Really has.
Don't you think? I
Yeah,
mean,
100%.
He's just been everywhere for the Hilltoppers.
He's got a dozen now in the game. Desi Sills leads everyone in this one with 20. Isaiah Joe's got 18, and Jimmy Witt with the basketball has 14 for the Razorbacks. Witt watched by Hollingsworth. First 30 seconds of overtime. Witt using the glass smartly.
That little pump fake, just that little pump fake sends the defender flying. That's a high IQ play by Witt.
You're just joining us. Charles Bassey, the 6'11" youngster. That one went into the second row. Bassey went down late in the second half. His left knee was injured, and they took him back, and he is being tended to in the locker room right now.
My MO is this: it's better to take a bad shot than throw a bad pass. That is not a smart play by Justice.
Here's Witt now, inside of 4 to play in the 5-minute overtime. Desi Sills, what a night he's had, mentioned 20 points for him.
Razorbacks seem unsure on this possession. They've been 4 or 5 feet beyond the three-point line trying to operate their offense.
Shot clock
Great
late.
D.
Great D. Anderson saying, not this time. Here comes Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth gets by Witt. Cameron Justice swings up top to Anderson. He'll try to get in a little closer. Lefty move. Great finish. Josh Anderson.
Hello, Mr. Anderson. Welcome to the second half. Boy, he's been good.
Oh, he has been dynamite. 14 for him. Here's Witt, gives off to Bailey with the flush. Adriel Bailey takes it hard to the rack.
But that quick spring by Bailey. I mean, he's got that fast twitch dunk.
Yep.
Woo. Good pass by Witt.
77 apiece.
This is pickup basketball right now.
Totally is.
Everybody's exhausted.
Yep.
I'm going to beat you off the dribble, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's what we have going on in
Pretty
overtime
much
right now.
Yeah. From downtown, Savage short. Jimmy Witt pushing it ahead for Sills. Back to Witt. Swing it for Isaiah Joe. Gets Savage in the air.
Pretty good D by Savage, who is
he's
absolutely exhausted.
Yeah.
He is sucking wind right now.
Yeah, he's played really good.
Defensive possession for Western Kentucky.
With the blow by, strong to the basket, lost it, couldn't contain it, falls to the deck. Jones gets run over.
Almost looked like a travel at the rim. Let's take a look again here at Witt's dribble penetration.
I'm not seeing that.
No, he's fine.
No.
He just glides so well that sometimes it's hard to tell.
So Anderson at the free throw line with 2:21 to play in overtime. Tied up at 77. 14 on the night for Anderson. Western Kentucky fans want to see this Hilltopper team make it 2 for 2 against Arkansas. Beat them last year by this exact score we have right now.
When you're exhausted, you got to have more legs on your jump shot, and you've got to trust your offense. That's what Arkansas needs to do right now.
Here's Isaiah Joe with Anderson on him. Williams out defending on the arc, and turned over and out of the hands of Sills. Quickly they come. Hollingsworth, what a finish! What a finish by Hollingsworth, up and under a 3-point lead.
Did you see the body control for Hollingsworth finishing on the weak side, yes. Right-handed?
Spectacular finish. Witt to Sills, downtown, no good. Rebound, Savage. We got a foul called on the floor with 1:39 to go. Here's a look back at that play by Tavion Hollingsworth, a thing of beauty.
I don't know how you make this play. I mean, that is just some jelly on your sandwich if I've ever seen it, man. That is nice.
What a game this has been.
Ben, you don't know about jelly, do you?
I know a little bit about jelly. Bailey at the line. Good on the first 2-point game. Back in, Jones comes out. That's Jalen Harris checking back in for Mason Jones.
If I'm Arkansas, I'd love to see Isaiah Joe be the aggressor on the offensive end. I think that's the next evolution in his game, is if he can be a go-to scorer in crunch time.
2-point lead for the team with the basketball. Anderson, watched there by Harris. Williams inside and hard to the deck. I believe that was Sills. It went down. It is Sills. Went down hard on his left side. Let's look back.
Just came down on his shoulder. Oh. Man. It's two teams leaving it all out on the line.
Yes, sir.
Leaving nothing for tomorrow.
Eric Musselman's making his way out, the Arkansas head coach in his first year. 4 great years at Nevada. Rick Stansbury talking with his guys. Minute 17 to go and a 2-point lead for the Hilltoppers.
Sills is a lefty, and it's the left arm that he's hurt right
came
now.
Down on,
that's scary.
Yep.
Looks like he's hanging on to his left shoulder.
Yeah, that's where he came down.
You look at Sills, he's shaking, he's trying to shake it off.
He is.
That's the kind of competitor he is. He probably wants to come back into the game right now.
He's got a game high 20.
Played great.
Desi Sills.
Just played great.
Yep, really has.
Fearless.
Yep. Prime example right there. So Carson Williams at the stripe. We'll try and extend this to a 4-point game. Three-point game as they tend to Sills.
If it goes to a 4-possession game here, wouldn't be surprised to see if Western Kentucky maybe hop in that 2-3 zone.
It's a 4-point lead.
They're sticking the man.
Jimmy Witt. Watched by Hollingsworth. Witt takes it in tight off the glass. Too strong. Williams had it, lost it. It'll stay with the Razorbacks with 1:03 to play.
If you're the Hilltoppers, where's Joe? Where's Jones? Those are your scores. Those are your shooters. The most dangerous guy taking out of bounds, Isaiah Joe.
Yes. Here's Jimmy Witt now against Anderson. Witt to the basket, draws the foul on Anderson. That'll be his 4th of the game. 59.3 seconds to go. So the foul right there with the right hand, right arm by Anderson. Witt at the line. Trying to trim this to a 2-point game.
This is the guy you want to foul.
Yeah, you said that earlier.
Witt is only 68% from the free throw line.
Case in point.
He does not have a clean-looking stroke. His jump shot form is better than his free throw shooting form. It's something that he's constantly working on.
And he's dealing with that student section you saw. He only shoots at 68% at the line. Got one. It's a three-point game. 82-79. Hollingsworth against Witt. Anderson. Hands off to Cameron Justice. Watched by Jalen Harris. Shot clock coming up on 10. Hollingsworth. He'll launch inside of the arc. No good. Rebounded by Bailey. Back behind the play. Mason Jones trying to get his right shoe on. They're short-handed here. Now he gets back into the play to Jones. And they threw it away. Threw it behind him. And the Hilltoppers have the basketball, leading by 3 with 24.1 to go.
Absolute mental breakdown for Arkansas.
Jones, yeah.
And it makes you wonder if it kind of, the shoe may have mentally taken him out of the game. It wasn't paying attention.
The shoe didn't fit. Not in that case, it didn't.
What a gift. An absolute early Christmas present provided by the Arkansas Razorbacks. It's a terrible decision. Even though Mason Jones wasn't paying attention, you can't make that pass.
Right.
You've got to be so sure with every possession. Now, you know, 24 seconds left. Western Kentucky's taking the ball out of bounds. Pressure is coming. I wouldn't expect Arkansas to foul right away, but if you get it in bounds, a trap is coming. You know they're going to go for a steal. You've got to secure the ball because after about 3 or 4 seconds, they're probably going to come for a foul.
So 24.1 to go. Charles Bassey mentioned it a few minutes ago, but you're just joining us for the final 24 of overtime. The star sophomore, 6'11", 230-pounder went down awkwardly on his left leg. He's been out of the game since the second half, late in the second half, and Western Kentucky trying to pull this off and knock Arkansas from the ranks of the unbeaten. There are only 12 teams left unbeaten in Division I.
And Savage, for Western Kentucky, number 2, is your best free throw shooter. He's 90% from the free throw line. Hollingsworth is around 80%, another very good free throw shooter. Keep your eyes on those two guys.
Hilltoppers have lost their last 2. One of those was against now number 1 Louisville. They were number 2 at the time, trying to knock off an undefeated in Arkansas, foul the backcourt with 19.2 to go.
Jimmy Witt almost got a steal. I mean, maybe 1 inch away from getting a steal on that pass, but great execution by the Hilltoppers. The ball leaves Savage's hands, and it goes right back to him. Jimmy almost got it.
Yes, he did.
Or it wasn't Witt, it was Joe, excuse me. It was Isaiah Joe.
So here's Savage at the line. Team up by 3. Jimmy Witt done with 17 points. But he did so much more than those 17 points. Outstanding talent. Savage good at the line. You said that's the guy you want.
That's your guy.
Yeah.
That's knowing your team. Coach Stansbury draws up a sideline out of bounds play. He needs the ball to be in Savage's hands. It's fitting that he's making these free throws after he was the guy that made the shot to tie it up.
Yep. He's been a Savage. Here come the Razorbacks. Knocked away by Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth will put it away. Throws it down. A 7-point lead. Final 10 seconds. Joe from Steph Curry range. No good. Knocked back. Bailey will launch from deep. No good. Time runs out, and Arkansas no longer unbeaten. They lose to Western Kentucky 86-79. The first win over an SEC team at home for Western Kentucky since 2010 against Mississippi State, who was then coached by the current Western Kentucky head coach, that man right there, Rick Stansbury.
We've got to give a shout out to Jared Savage.
100%.
Knocks the 3 in, deep corner ball. One of the hardest shots to make in college hoops to tie it up. And then the free throws to ice it at the end of the game. What a great performance by Savage. But you know who the MVP was in the second half? Anderson. Josh Anderson was everywhere for the Hilltoppers. What a fantastic performance by Western Kentucky.
Here's the 3 by Savage. late in regulation.
He's the player who hit 83s last season for Western Kentucky, a gifted three-point shooter. Man, what a ball game, man. This was awesome.
We'll be back with a post-game wrap-up here from Bowling Green, Kentucky. The Hilltoppers knock off Arkansas 86-79. It's only December, but this one felt a lot like March. 86-79, Western Kentucky knocks Arkansas from the ranks of the unbeaten. Mike O'Donnell with the victorious head coach.
Maybe the most boring game that you played all year, right? Just like you drew it up. I mean, what can you say about the toughness and grit of your team?
Well, like we talked about it, our shoot-around, I hope we can make it interesting for you. So I think we did. You know, first off, give Arkansas a lot of credit. You know, they're 8-0 for a reason. We're 8-1 now. They're a really hard team to defend. But I thought our guys just showed a lot of toughness and a lot of grit, and particularly after we lost Charles for that stretch. We were down. We got down 6 or 7 and found ways to make those plays to get back.
Anything you could tell us about Bassett, how he's doing?
Don't know anything about it, but you know, we'll evaluate him. We get out here and see where it's at.
Great last play, getting savage that three. Was that drawn up by you?
Well, hey, it's easy to draw him up. Players make plays. I mean, he deserves all the credit for jumping up making the shot.
Great win, Coach. Congratulations.
All right, the victorious head coach here tonight, Rick Stansbury, as his Hilltoppers go to 7-3. Once again, our final score, 86-79, Western Kentucky knocks Arkansas from the ranks of the unbeaten. For Mike O'Donnell, all of our crew, my name is Ben Holden. It's been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. We'll now send you to our New York studio and our Inside College Basketball studio with Brent Stover and John Rothstein. Thanks for watching, and so long from Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Ben, Mike, the entire crew, tremendous job. 86-79 in overtime, as he mentioned. Our insider John Rothstein. I'm Brent Stover. Got National Finals Rodeo coming up in moments, tying a bow, though. 7-point victory. You could tell, listen, these guys play, 30 games and then into March and all that, and every night is different, but how exciting it is just to get a win like this for Rick Stansbury.
Well, no question. This was a huge finished win for Western Kentucky. But the standard right now and the question for Western Kentucky is this: is Charles Bassey going to be healthy? Because Western Kentucky looked like a team that, for all intents and purposes, could not just win Conference USA, but be in a situation where it could advance in the NCAA tournament. So you look at really things moving forward for Western Kentucky. Charles Bassey is a big man who could play in any power conference in college basketball. He's that big physically. But if they don't have him, the ceiling for the Hilltoppers much lower.
Tavion Hollingsworth did pick up a lot of the scoring slack. In fact, 23 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists to lead the way. They got 15 as well from Josh Anderson. Jared Savage had 14, 86-79 in OT as they take down the SEC's Arkansas Razorbacks. Catch you up on some highlights quickly here. We're into number 3, Maryland, off their best start since 98-99. Welcomed Illinois to town. Maryland down 4 late second half. Dante Scott, the jumper and the foul, made the free throw. Terps down 3. Same score, under 30 seconds. Big shot, Anthony Cowan.
Anthony Cowan's been sensational all season long, Brent. You see him from distance right there. That tied the game. But it's the defense on the ensuing possession right there. He gets fouled. This is an opportunity to put Maryland ahead. He did that with the first free throw. He misses the second, and then Illinois is going to get one chance. It's not going to go. This is a devastating loss for Brad Underwood and the Illini.
They fall to 6-3. The Terps remain perfect, 10-0 at number 3 in the country. 59-58 is the final 20 for Cowan. Smith in double figures as well. Kansas beats Colorado 72-58.
Not enough offense from Colorado. Kansas, though, continues to be anchored by Dotson and Azubuike. Nice game for Ochai Agbaji.
And earlier in the day, this is a thriller. 63-58, Baylor knocks off Arizona.
Freddie Gillespie with 17-13 started his career as a Division III player. Was also a walk-on to start at Baylor. Freddie Gillespie, in a lot of ways, Brent Stover, like you, the American dream.
Right. Baylor, you think they're a dark horse for the Final Four?
Dark horse for the Final Four. If you're looking for a non-blue blood to put on your radar for the Final Four, go with the Baylor Bears.
Great doubleheader of college basketball. He's John Rothstein. I'm Brent Stover. The Wrangler National Finals Rodeo is next on CBS Sports Network.